And welcome to the Hardin Simmons Coaches Show with Coach Jesse Burleson. I'm Al Pickett, and the coach, last week a 24-19 victory over McMurray. It's getting to be a habit. Another McMurray game going down to the last second.
Yeah, it just seems to be that way right now, and we had plenty of chances to put that thing away, and we didn't take advantage of those opportunities and make the plays that we needed to when we needed to make them. But really proud of how our guys just stuck with it and found a way to get the job done at the end.
I was telling you, after attending your game, watching it, broadcasting it, went home, watched the end of Alabama Ole Miss, then Notre Dame and Texas A&M, then the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Every one of them went down to the very last play of the game in the last seconds. And in every game, either offensively or defensively, somebody steps up and makes a play. And for you, it was Caden Sampson-Stuckey with the sack on the fourth down play.
You know, and that was a huge play, but, 2 plays before that, he made another huge play that probably nobody noticed, where he split a double team, got rid of 2 guys, and made a tackle for loss right there to kind of put him in a little bit longer down the distance. And so he's just becoming an absolutely phenomenal player. He just gets better and better each week, does things the right way, handles his business off the field, and puts in the work on the field, and it's definitely paying off for him and for us.
Strange game in the fact that you were leading 24-6 at halftime and seemingly kind of dominating, and then intercepted a pass on the first play of the second half, and then throw a pick on your first play in the end zone, and the scene kind of flipped, and their backup quarterback came in because the starter got hurt, and he was terrific hitting passes. It was funny how the momentum, you could see it, how it shifted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And with that drive right after when we got the interception, we should have just kept it very simple, and I didn't put us in a good enough position to do what we needed to do right then, because I think that if we would have stuck to the basics right there, we would have been able to get the thing in the end zone, or at least kick a field goal, worst case scenario right there. And so I learned a lot from that. I think our guys did too, and so I think we'll be better because of it moving forward.
It is funny though how momentum can change in a ball game, can it?
It is, and the problem is that whenever sometimes you see those things happening, you don't really know what to do about it. You just need somebody to make a play at that time, and whenever you see it kind of shifting against you, you just, hey, we just need one play right here. And unfortunately, we made a few, but we didn't stack them on. And then there was a couple of costly penalties. And so anytime that you have that, I mean, you're trying to coach against those things. But, when your guys are playing hard like ours are, those things are going to happen, unfortunately. But we can definitely overcome those things.
Slot back, Wes Douglas had another big ball game. He was the offensive player of the week in the conference, and, of course, had that long pass reception on the first play of the game. But he continues just to show his speed and do a terrific job.
Great player, absolutely great player, and very similar to what I said about Stuckey earlier. He just handles his business. I mean, he takes care of his business off the field. He works extremely hard on the field, and those plays are being made by a guy who puts himself in position to do that. And so just really pleased with what Wes has done, and he continues to strive to get better each and every week.
I don't know who you want to single out defensively, but your leading tackler in the game was Mark Champion, who's not actually listed as a starter, so it speaks to the depth that you have.
Definitely, and Mark had a rough week last week. Our guys, what people don't realize is that all the stuff that our guys have to do each and every week, it's hard to do what we ask them to do at a very high level, and he overcame some adversity and definitely paid off in being the leading tackler. And when you're not a starter, sometimes that can hurt your confidence maybe a little bit, but our guys understand that, hey, everybody's got a role, and if you excel in your role, you're going to see your opportunities multiply, and his definitely did.
Okay, next up you take on Louisiana Christian. We knew them as Louisiana College when they were in your conference. Now they're an NAIA school, and I looked up, they're playing in the Sooner Athletic Conference. They didn't cut their travel down any, did they?
I don't think so. I think they actually added to it, and so there's teams all over the place in that Sooner Conference.
They are 2-1. They won last week in their homecoming game 43-37 over Wayland Baptist. What do you know about Louisiana College? It's been a Louisiana Christian. It's been several years since you've played them.
Very athletic. I mean, you turn on the tape, it doesn't take long to see that they have athletes everywhere. I mean, their defensive secondary, man, those guys can really fly around. Offensively, their quarterback has played really well the last 2 weeks. I think he threw for almost 400 yards last week, and they have 3 or 4 receivers averaging over 20 yards a catch. So they have a lot of talent, and they got a lot of confidence right now. Winning 2 conference games back to back, coming into this one, they'll be feeling pretty good coming in here.
What's the difference if somebody looks at NAI, NCAA Division III?
Scholarships. I mean, it's a pretty simple deal. They're allowed to have 24 scholarships, and they can divide them up any way that they want to do that. And so you can see that they have guys that could play at several different levels. And so that's the biggest difference. Other than that, you have to kind of fill in your roster at the NAIA level. I don't know exactly how they do that, but I know that but a lot of them will just try to divide those things up as far as they can, as opposed to just investing a ton of money in one or two players.
What are keys in for the Cowboys?
We got to take a huge step forward this week. It's we've been talking to our guys about winning the inches, because there's so many different plays where it's just an inch here, an inch there, and I know that everybody, you can't really see that from the outside looking in. But whenever we turn on the film and you're seeing that if we have a guy, if he can get his right arm in this position, or we can take a step right here, it's going to lead to huge plays to where we can do the things that we need to do. And so we're really focusing on that, and it's not going to be something gigantic that you see. It's just going to be us doing those little tiny things better than we ever have. And I think if we do that, we'll take a huge step forward this Saturday.
It'll be a big ball game just because you're playing a quality opponent, and then you have a week off next week, or not a week off, but an open date.
Opportunity week for us, yes, sir.
But so important to end this stretch at 3-0 and get ready for the stretch run, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key to, it's the biggest game of our season because it's the only one we have this week, and then we'll worry about next week. But our guys have been really focused, had a great day of preparation yesterday, and I know we'll have an even better one today.
Coach, good luck this week.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it.
As the Cowboys take on Louisiana Christian, that's the Heart of Simmons Coaches Show with Coach Jesse Burleson. Back with more after we take this time out.